Hey, it's Dr. Jake from Victory Health Center. I'm here with Bryce from Smart Gut HQ, and tonight we want to talk about coronavirus and max immunity, how to build resistance. And so let me get this out there before we do anything else. We're not here to treat corona tonight. We're not here to cure it or anything like that. It's about max immunity.
That's right. Our mission is to decrease your panic and give you confidence in who you are in this world today.
And so there's no getting past it, right? Is that it's here. And this is the emergency that we've always talked about. I can't act like it's not happening. We have wobbles spread out in the clinic. We have hand sanitizers and like cleaner, all kinds of different cleaners and stuff that we would never do before. But I want you to know, and I want you to be courageous today. I want you to be strong today and understand how your body works, how your immune system works. The truth is that the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a pandemic. The definition of a pandemic is a widespread disease affecting many people. And I don't have all the stats here, but it's not good. But oddly enough, did you know that coronaviruses have been around from the CDC recognizes them from the 1960s? And last year, a WebMD article said that 20% of the common cold is actually caused by the coronavirus. And so there's many of these coronavirus out there, but once again, this is the emergency, man, that we've been talking about for a long time. And social distancing, you got to do it. You've got to be extra clean. You got to use maybe some toxic soaps or shampoos or whatever, just to make sure that whatever it is on you, and it's not just about you, it's about the older people. I think right now it's about protecting the people that are most immunosuppressed. But I know this for sure, that there's somebody out there that you do have a compromised immune system, that something's not right inside of your body. And so the reason that you plugged in tonight is to help you to understand how to build a resilient, strong, germ-fighting immune system. Does this mean that we're not going to get sick?
Absolutely not.
No, you might get sick, but the goal of this is to prevent sickness and disease by making your body stronger. According to the CDC, the most common symptoms of the coronavirus are fever, shortness of breath, and cough. And if you have those three, then you may want to go get tested. But tonight, and ultimately, we're never going to learn all the science behind it. And ultimately, that's not our goal.
Yeah.
And all the science behind it, you know who's doing that? They're doing it. Your president is doing it. The people that are in charge of this, and we're supposed to be listening to those people right now and taking the precautions. But I wanted to talk about the immune system, because we got to understand, in order to not get sick, we kind of got to know what our immune system does, right?
That's right.
And
yeah.
so
the immune system is a collection of structures and processes within the body that work to protect against disease or other potential damaging foreign bodies. The immune system can distinguish between normal, healthy cells and unhealthy cells by recognizing danger-associated molecular patterns, or DAMPs. Cells may be unhealthy because of infection or because of cellular damage caused by non-infectious agents like sunburn or cancer.
And please get this. This is not, and the reason that we're going to read this is because we're reading it straight out of Merck manuals. This is what all the doctors get. This is what chiropractors get when we go to chiropractic school. This is what your doctors most likely got when they went to school, so that they understand. So what you're doing right now is you're understanding from a doctor standpoint, what is the immune system? Infectious microbes, what it says is infectious microbes such as viruses, bacteria, release another set of signals recognized by the immune system called pathogen-associated molecular patterns called PAMPs. And when functioning properly, the immune system identifies threats, including viruses, bacteria, parasites, and distinguishes them from the body's own healthy tissue. And the thing is I think it's so important that that's a good definition, but the majority of our immune system resides not in our brain, but where?
In the gut.
Yep.
Yeah. So 70 to 80% is what researchers are finding is where our immune system lives, and it's in our gut. So with that in mind, what you have to understand is the gut contains trillions, and they're finding hundreds of trillions of bacteria that actually protect against those pathogens that are living out there. And bacteria can also be good.
Okay.
It's not just bad.
Because we get caught up in antibiotics and those are for bacterials. Yeah. We use antibacterial hand sanitizers and soaps and those kind of things.
The antibiotics and all of those antis out there, we're just trained against it. But we have probiotics.
Okay.
We have the ones that are for us. So we want to be embracing those and giving them the proper home, the right garden for them to actually grow and thrive.
A place where the probiotics are not constantly getting beat up and killed, and they are alive and well in order to fight these bacteria that ultimately could be the bad bacteria, right?
Right. Yeah. If you are somebody that is immune compromised, you likely have an imbalance of this bacteria where your bad bacteria is at a much higher threshold than your lower, or than your probiotics, the good bacteria. So what will happen is, if you picture the scales of justice, you're going to get overthrown by the bad bacteria, and what happens then is disease and sickness, and it just dominoes from there.
I think it's so important to understand that when we say bacteria, we're scared to death, right? I mean, we really are. We were never trained in high school or even college, or even when I went to school. I didn't learn this stuff until after school, and you didn't learn this stuff until you were way out of school. And the thing is that microbiota, those probiotics, those good bacteria in our guts, they tell the rest of our immune cells what to do. They're kind of like the direction for which way that our immune system is going to go. And so there's other things that you got to do though. And so before we really get into like what is it that you're going to take? What supplements do I need to take? What kind of foods do I need to be taking? I think it's important to have the right mindset and to understand that stress can really shut down your immune system.
Yeah, with today's environment, with everything going on, people are stressed. They're full of fear and anxiety, and it's understandable. There's a lot going on. There's a lot being said. Some of it true, some of it not. We don't know what to believe sometimes, but we take that all in up here, and that also sits in your gut, that stress. Yeah. So we're raising, when we have high levels of stress and fear and anxiety, we're raising the levels of cortisol in our body, which is the body's natural response to stress. And when you do that, you are essentially telling your body, hey, start shutting down systems. I need to focus on this stress so that I can fight in this fight or flight mode.
But when you're fighting a fight, and when I'm fighting the tiger, you know what I don't want to do? I don't really want to poop. When I'm fighting and running like from somebody with a knife, the last thing that my body is thinking is that, hey, you've got a viral infection. I need to make your body rest, right? And so you cannot heal when your body is in stress. There's just no way. And so that's so important to understand. You know, think about this. When I was in high school and college, I remember that, and I know you played sports. I remember that I was like about to go wrestle, and my guts are just so like butterflies and all torn up. And that's just a wake up call for me when I started to put those together, that was my nervous system, my sympathetic nervous system turning on because I'm about to fight. And then it was shutting down actually my digestive system, and it's shutting down the thing that is actually going to keep me the healthiest.
Absolutely.
And so what happens when you're sick is that you end up getting symptoms. Yeah. Coughing, fever. If I eat salmonella today, I'm probably going to have diarrhea, those kind of things. Yep. But is that such a bad thing? Is that symptom is trying to get that junk out of my body?
No, not at all.
Not at all. And so
it's a good thing.
And so it's the best thing. And so although not pleasant, the disease symptoms occur because your immune system is actually reacting. The reason that you get a fever is to burn the junk off. The reason that we start to cough, and according to pediatrician Roy Benerock from the Emory Medical School, he said that coughing agitates mucus, it prevents bacteria from developing their defensive biofilm, and it creates a huge colony, or preventing it from creating a huge colony of pus-filled goo in your lungs and in your throat. And so coughing's a good thing. And so coughing's good. It brings up mucus. And ultimately, if you're having respiratory problems, you don't want pneumonia, you know what you do want to do? You want to be coughing. That's Fevers. Right. Fevers are usually seen as a bad thing, but they can be a sign that your immune system is working properly. And so a rise in temperature makes your body a less favorable environment for invading germs. Your amazing body raises temperature to kill heat-sensitive bacteria, that bad bacteria, and viruses in your body. And so, we talk about like symptoms, and we talk about the immune system, and and I think that so many people out there is that I went to Walgreens and the emergency aisle, the
Yeah.
emergency, not emergency.
Little packets, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
little
yeah.
packets that you get, the vitamin
Yeah.
C, they're out. They're gone.
Mm.
And so that if I was going to choose to have a vitamin C, I wouldn't choose that one. But I think more importantly than supplements is that we need to talk about the foods that we need to eat,
Yeah.
but also the foods that we probably don't need to put into our body.
Yeah, that's right. The foods that we choose to eat, especially in this time, they need to be whole foods. They don't need to be from a box or from a package, because you want to get those most bioavailable foods possible so that your body can actually absorb it. So things like kiwi, things like pineapple, oranges, whatever types, they all fit because they provide and actually kiwi, probably the highest level of vitamin C out of those three. But then you can even introduce things like elderberry, echinacea, in the form of syrups or even essential oils.
Yeah, and so you could do those. Also, turns out that ice cream is not the answer to coronavirus. I know that you've talked a lot about, and you've gotten off the sugar, and I think it's so important to cut sugar as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Sugar is probably one of the most pervasive problems to many of the diseases and sicknesses that we have out there today, outside of coronavirus. But it can actually help to create a habitable environment when you take in too much sugar, because you're increasing the levels of inflammation in your body, which is why we want to cut the sugar.
You gotta cut the sugar. Not just not just these.
Yeah.
I think it's so important.
Yeah.
Is that when we say sugar, and when I'm teaching patients sugar all the time, they say I don't eat candy bars and I don't eat Skittles all the time. But where are people actually getting sugar from?
Yeah, they're getting it from the breads, and they're getting it from the fruit juices, and stuff like that. They're eliminating the fiber sources, and they're eating the sources where it's very high in sugar to add flavor into it.
And
it's
then
unnatural.
You told me a stat earlier that the amount of pounds of sugar that people eat a year was like
the estimation that researchers are giving is over 200 pounds per person per year are being ingested.
This, back in the 1910s and the 1920s, the average intake of sugar was like 3 to 5 pounds a year or so. And so, what they didn't deal with back then, though? They did not deal with obesity. Yeah. And so it's so important not to cut the sugar because of obesity. But coming back to him, when your body's inflamed, it harbors a place. It's a place that bacteria and viruses and parasites even love to live. Now at Victory, we do what's called the keto plan. We have a paleo plan. But the main plan at our office is called the advanced plan. And what it's for short-term management for weight. It helps people detoxify, and it helps their cellular membranes get the junk out. And there's really three main parts to it. And so you've got to change your sugars and stop eating sugar, stop consuming sugar, and replace those with maybe a stevia or a xylitol or a monk fruit, or just totally release yourself from that burden. You've got to change the meats that you eat. You want to have antibiotic-free, hormone-free chicken. You want to have grass-fed beef. And then you want to have good fats. And I would say that if anything that we're going to change, we got to change our meats and our fats. We got to cut the sugar, but also replacing processed snacks with whole foods. Like you said, replacing whole wheat. People think that the brown bread is better. Right. It's just caramel color.
Yeah. It's just a color, but the truth is, it's just as glutinous and it's just as full of sugar as the white bread.
That's right. And so if you're not gluten intolerant today, you if you're not totally allergic to gluten, you may have a small intolerance or a small sensitivity to it. And so if you're trying to lose weight, or if you're trying to fight an infection, you want to not just remove the breads, but especially like gluten breads. And so you'll see that on the label. We talked a few minutes ago about citrus fruits, and you were saying that kiwi.
Kiwi is extremely high in a bioavailable source of vitamin C, which basically means, it's a big term for just meaning your body's going to absorb it, and it's going to absorb it quickly and efficiently, and it's going to be able to use it to actually go into your healthy cells and fight off virus. Fruits that actually don't raise your blood sugar as well.
Gotcha.
So things like kiwi, actually banana. Banana can actually be very, very good here because it is a prebiotic form. So your body can actually utilize that. The good bacteria can use it to actually feed and grow. So things like kiwi, banana, there is your basic oranges. And the reason why you want to be taking those in is it's been shown to improve the production and effectiveness in helping your white blood cells to fight infection with disease.
Absolutely. And so also vitamin C, and a lot of people don't know this, vitamin C is necessary for iron absorption in the gut. And so a lot of people, a lot of women out there specifically, you're iron deficient, or you have to have those B12 shots. Yeah. And that may be because you're low in vitamin C. Your vitamin C is a requirement if you've been around smoking, if you've been around power lines and those kind of things. Mm-hmm. But it's also a great antioxidant. Something else that I use and is super delicious is garlic. And so when garlic is broken down, it's broken down into or when it's crushed or when it's chewed. There's a chemical compound in there called allicin, and allicin is the main active compound in garlic. And listen, one study said that supplementation with garlic reduces the risk of illness by 63%, as well as the duration of illness by 70%. And wow. So it's really incredible what you can do. Vitamin D. Yeah,
vitamin D is critical. You have to have it. You can either get it from a supplement or from the sun. The best is obviously from the sun, getting that morning sunlight, but it's going to rejuvenate that mitochondria that you absolutely have to have excited. And what if you're not able to go out in the sunlight, sensitive to skin, right?
You just got to supplement it.
Yeah, yep. You got to get the supplement.
And I see so many people that they take a supplement, maybe it's 1,000 units or it's 2,000 units, but the recommendation really is what?
5,000 IU.
5,000 IU. Yeah. That's your bare minimum. And how do you know if you need vitamin D? Well, you probably got a compromised immune system, number one. But number two, you get a blood test and you just go get it checked and see where you are. Vitamin C Complete. This is the supplement actually that I use on a regular basis. I was so thankful when this came out I guess it's been about a year ago, but I have had so much emotional, physical, chemical stress throughout my entire life. And so I developed a condition called Meniere's disease 15 years ago or so, and it wrecked me, and it was dizziness and vertigo and all these other things. But part of that was not just I had an ear problem, I had a stress problem, and it ruined my antioxidants. And so I noticed that I was starting to age a lot quicker. I started losing hair when I wasn't supposed to be losing hair. And so vitamin C is a critical part of your body, but also it's critical for collagen production in your body. So absolutely. In order to have good healthy nails and skin, in order to have good joints, you need to have good collagen, which is vitamin C is one of those backbones from it. Probiotics.
Yeah, probiotics. That is again that for you bacteria, the pro, and they recommend a high level of CFUs, which is what the 50B is on this Maximize Living brand here. Yep. It's a great probiotic. I did take a couple notes that I have on my website for the best strains that you want to look for in a probiotic. So Lactobacillus plantarum, which you can actually get from sauerkraut, fermented sauerkraut. Cool. Bacillus coagulans, okay. Bacillus subtilis, which is found in live bacteria from soil-based organisms, Cyanobacteria, which is found in spirulina and chlorella, which actually help you to clean cells and a whole host of other health benefits.
Yeah. So. And we use chlorella here for detox, but also for people that have like altitude sickness and those kind of things. Chlorella is actually pretty good for that. And so the last one that I would talk about today, as far as supplements go, and that's what we're talking about, is the things that you are adding to your body in order to build resistance to disease. It's turmeric. And there's these things in turmeric called curcuminoids, and they're found in turmeric. They've been exclusively studied for their ability to improve cardiovascular function. They reduce inflammation. It supports musculoskeletal health, which is great for me being a chiropractor, and it helps to maintain the immune system. And so antioxidants like turmeric. There's another one that's in the Daily Defense. It's called superoxide dismutase, and the next one is called Indian gooseberry to help remove free radicals. Gooseberry actually helps your body to produce glutathione, which is glutathione is the number one substance that gets toxins out of your body. And so Indian gooseberry, but that's like a supplement that you can use. You don't have to buy the one that we have, and this is not a promotion for that. However, you want to be taking turmeric on a regular basis. And then we have these. We're going to be having an immune system workshop at Victory Health Center pretty soon, in April sometime. And we have this immune perspective that we want to give you guys. But Bryce, you're going to put yours on your website as well?
It's going to be available at smartguthq.com/corona.
Okay, cool. And so you can pick that up today. And so once again, we're here to get you the information that you need to know to be well. Not just, I just think it's so funny that that we're going to go get this supplement. We're going to go get this, and we're going to go get that. And I got to get this, and I got to deal with this, and I got to deal with that. And by the time that the day's over, it's way too late. We feel like we deserve to watch some TV. We're going to stay up till 1 o'clock.
Yep.
We're going to wake up at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and we're not going to get enough sleep.
Yeah, we're going to binge that whole Netflix series in one night and think we're just going to glide right into a restful sleep. And that's just not the case. You have to be intentional with sleep. Sleep is arguably one of the most important things to remember here. Sleep is where your body starts to heal. That's where it ramps up all of these systems and says, all right, let's start to heal this body up. And if we're not getting restful sleep because we're taking in all this blue light from devices and TV, and we're just going to be waking up all the time throughout the night.
So recommendation for hours of sleep is?
Between, I would say, 7 to 9. Some would say 6 to 8.
Yeah.
Yep. Sometimes you just kind of feel it out for your body, but you need to stick to it every night.
And the dude out there that's sleeping 4 hours a night that's mad at you right now, it's too bad. Because even like I was watching this video with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson a while back, and I don't know what time he goes to bed, but my son was like, he wakes up at 3:30 in the morning to go work out, and then he gets his day done like he does the rest of his day. But I think that so many people think that dude goes to bed at midnight, wakes up at 3:30. But the truth is he's probably still getting his 6, 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep. And somebody out there heard you say 9 hours, and they're freaking out. But you know what? When you've dealt with the autoimmune condition and you've been through it and you've been healed from it, then you'll do whatever it takes, right? And so if you want to prevent from getting sick, and you want to build the strongest immune system that you can, you're going to start getting some rest, my friend. Right. Exercise is a big deal too.
Exercise, yeah. This is something that I had to ramp up quite a bit. So I went from playing sports all the time to not playing anything because I let my body go. Yeah. It wasn't because I got overweight or anything. It was Crohn's disease hit me, and I was eating the sugar and doing all the things that we were saying don't do. Yeah. And it caught up to me. So exercise is what I had to get back so that I could exercise also my lymphatic system to push out the toxins that build up in your body.
Gotcha.
And so
you got to get your blood flowing to get the junk out of it, right?
Absolutely. To get that sweat to push the toxins out. Your body created all these systems to actually get it out, and exercise is one of the primary ways to do it.
Yep. Raises the body temperature as well. Exercise reduces stress, man. And I think more than anything is that we live in the most stressed out environment and the stressed out time in the history of man. They say that you could pull somebody from the 1940s and put them in like a life of 2020, and they would have a nervous breakdown within the first couple hours because all the stress that we put on our bodies. And so you got to take the time to exercise, guys. We spent a lot of time tonight with doing this. Is that we tell you what to eat. We say do this, do that, and everything else. But there are 5 things that me and Bryce agree on very strongly about what you want to remove from your body, remove from your life, and so these are called minimizing toxins. It's decreasing your exposure to these. The first one is clean water.
Yeah, clean water. I know for our family, it's a mandatory thing. We bought a Berkey, and this Berkey filters out not only the chloride and fluoride, which is the two that we're recommending to at least get out with whatever filter you have, but also in your shower, not just what you're putting in through your mouth, but what you're pouring over you. It's your shower heads, and then maybe you want to get it into your kitchen sink and other faucets.
It's important to understand that you can start slow with water filtration. You can start with one that's just in the refrigerator, and then you can go to like a whole. Eventually you can go to a whole house water filtration system. But
right.
You don't have to spend $4,000 or $5,000 on a water filtration system.
Work your way up.
When you're taking the shower in the chlorinated, fluoridated water, you're also putting chemicals on your body with fragrances and different PFOAs and phthalates and all these other chemicals that basically get absorbed into your skin. They get absorbed into your bloodstream and they cause problems. And so you want to really watch out for the amount of lotion that you're putting on your body. And there's never, ever, ever an excuse to have the word fragrance in any lotion, soap, shampoo, because that's just simply another plastic that you're coating over your skin. And so you got to get off the lotions, get off the toxic soaps and the shampoos.
That's right. Yeah. We love a clean, sterile environment, but we don't want to sterilize our the whole insides of our bodies either. And that goes along the lines of plastics, like your cups and your containers. You've probably heard out there by now BPA. That's a common one that people are saying, hey, I don't want BPA in my stuff anymore. Well, that's a certain type of chemical plastic, and it bleeds into your food and drink. And that can happen not just, it's a misnomer. People think, hey, it just happens when you heat it.
That's right.
But it can happen when it's cold too.
Sure.
So you want to make sure you get rid of the plastics.
Yep.
Go for containers like stainless steel and glass.
Gotcha. Stainless steel, glass, ceramic coated.
Ceramic.
I tell you what too is, and one thing that I don't talk about as far as toxicity goes, but I grew up in a family with a smoker, and grew up around people that drink a lot of alcohol. And I don't talk about this a whole lot. Maybe that's because of my past. And so I figure that if that you're not supposed to smoke cigarettes, man, and you know that you're not supposed to be an alcoholic, but you are. And so right now in this time, you've got to reduce your amount of smoking or totally quit smoking because it's ruining your body. What it's doing is it's causing oxidation of all of your cells, and then your immune system comes and tries to kill that area. But you've got a virus attacking you. You've got a bacteria attacking you. But we're dealing with these chemicals, and also alcohol. Alcohol ruins that good microbiome that's in your gut.
Absolutely, yeah. You got to keep that strong and reduce the additives and preservatives, which is number 5 on our list here.
Yep.
So additives and preservatives like the colors and the numbers and the nitrates, right?
Yep, colors, numbers, nitrates, and so those are really easy. So we don't eat numbers. Like if it said, man, I love some Red 40, dude. I'm telling you, dude, I love me some 1, 2, 3, 4. It's so good. But we don't do that, and it just makes sense to just minimize toxins, maximize your health. I wanted to talk about this before we close tonight. I know it's super simple, but it's estimated that only 5% of us know how to wash our hands properly. And so here's how this goes: and this is from the CDC.gov. Okay, so I'm going to read this to you. Lather your fingers with soap and your hands under your fingernails with soap and scrub for at least 20 seconds before rinsing. So many times we want to wash it off.
That's it. Just let the water do the work.
Oh, the water feels so good though, man.
It's
so
hot.
Yeah,
it's hot. It's doing something, right?
It's hot, and so and I think the research even said a while back was that it didn't even matter if it was hot or cold water. It needs to be a good lather. You got to get underneath your fingernails, and it's got to be for 20 seconds. And so make sure that you're still doing that too. And then some action steps that we have for you tonight is that if you're not a patient at Victory, and you want to come do a consultation, or you ever want to plug into the clinic, do this right now. Call 865-357-2600, or just go to victoryhealthcenter.com. I would love to serve you. This is a natural clinic here in East Tennessee, and we serve a lot of people, and there's a lot of people here that come and they never thought that they would be well, but by correcting their nervous system and getting their nutrition right and helping their body detox, teach them how to exercise, all surrounded by the most positive mindset that you can have, you can really get well. And so places to connect with you, Bryce?
Yeah, you can reach me at smartguthq.com at any time. There's a free resource there if you go to /corona. And you can also fill out the form that I have right there. You can click right through on the homepage, and you can contact me right there.
In 10 years of practice, I've never known anybody to attack an autoimmune disease like this man has. And so recovering from Crohn's disease, and just like has been just like a beast at the whole thing. And now he's developed this system for people out there. And so if you have a digestive crisis, you've got IBS, or you've got Crohn's, or some kind of colitis or diverticulitis or anything like that, or just a simple immune system problem that you're suffering from, Smart Gut HQ, and get connected with this guy. And finally, I would say this is that we live in a world of panic and that's out of control. But for us, we're Christians, and we believe in Jesus, and ultimately, so God is sovereign over it. He's sovereign over the unprecedented. We've never seen this kind of, like, I've never seen this in my life, the way the panic and the chaos and everything else, that stuff is infectious too. Maybe Corona's infectious, but the chaos and the panic is infectious. Absolutely. And so we got to remember who we are as Christians, as followers of Jesus, that we know that God's in control, and so that he's sovereign, and we can't be worried to die, because fact number 2 is that we're all going to die one day. And our goal here is that we got to be ready to die. And so death is real. And we got to be ready. Fact number three is that the tomb is empty. And then it means Jesus died, was resurrected, left the tomb, and offered us eternal life after this life. And so you may die. But that doesn't mean that you have to die forever. That means that you die, get to go to heaven, and spend the rest of the next 10,000 years worshiping Jesus, and then the next 10,000 years thanking God for your wife, and then the next 10,000 years being thankful for that. And so John 16:33 says this, is that I've said these things to you, that in me you may have peace, and in the world you will have tribulation, but take heart. I, is Jesus talking, have overcame the world.
That's right. And I wanted to leave you with this. And in this spirit of fear and stress and anxiety that we've spoken about, I wanted to leave you with this. 2 Timothy 1:6-7, and you can read it behind us too. For this reason, I remind you to fan into flame the gift of God, which is in you through the laying on of my hands. For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control.
That's it. God is good. And listen, he knew that this was going to happen way before that we ever thought it was going to happen. And so be strong and courageous out there. If you have any questions about what we talked about tonight, keep on going back over this video. If you want to get a hold of Victory, victoryhealthcenter.com, go to facebook.com/Victory Knoxville, and then you go to Instagram at Victory Health Center.
And you can go to, again, smartguthq.com, and you can get me on Instagram at smartguthq.
All right. Hey, we hope you guys have a great week, and we love you so much.
Thank you.